Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I know I sound very congested, and I am very congested. Just waiting for a few people to join. We're going to be tuning into today's conversation. Oh, hey, Tatum. Good morning. Morning. I see the first one is here.
Hi,
Hey, Ayanna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Apologies for my congestion. I was like, oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's all right. It happens
It's
to the best of us.
it is that time of year, unfortunately.
Yeah,
How are
yeah.
you doing this morning, though?
I'm great. It's good to see you in person. Thank
I
you so much for having
know.
me.
Thank you so much for your flexibility and joining this Self Care Saturday chat. I know that we have
Yes.
another young lady who is going to join us any moment.
hmm
But I just want, for those who are tuning in while we're waiting, if you could just introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what it is that you do. I'm going to mute myself while you do that.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Ayanna, and I am a transformation health coach. And what that means is I really help you transform your relationship to food, your relationship to exercise, but most importantly, your relationship to yourself, because we all know that when we transform how we look at ourselves and our relationship to self, everything else is possible. So I spend a lot of time working with people, not just on their health goals, but on really trying to make sure that they are transforming themselves in the process so it can be a lifelong change that happens and not just like a diet or temporary fix. So that's how I lost 50 pounds, and that's how I help other people too. So
What? 50 pounds? Oh my gosh, that's
yes,
so awesome.
yes, and yes, it is. Hi, good morning.
Good
Hi.
morning. How
Good
are
morning.
you?
I'm
All
awesome. How
right.
are you ladies?
Great, great. Hey, Gemma. Good morning. You got perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Good
Ayanna was
morning.
actually just taking a quick moment to introduce herself. I was apologizing for the nasaliness that is I. My congestion is up, and then I was dropping in chat. So I'll have you do the same thing.
Mhm.
Oh, Ayanna, tell everybody where you're from too. Where you from?
So I'm from Oakland, California. So right now it is 7 a.m.
That's
on
what
a
I was gonna say.
Saturday. This is
She's in California, Oakland, California. Now,
this is this is how much I love our people that I'm
our
up 7 a.m. You
we
guys are worth
appreciate you
it.
so much. We appreciate you so much. We actually have family out in that area, Oakland, California. What is
Okay.
it? The Bay Area, I think they
Yeah,
call it, or
the
something.
Bay
Okay.
Area. That's right.
So
Yeah.
we actually have family out there. So I'm gonna make a little connection afterwards
Oh,
there. But
absolutely. I'd love
I
that.
would love that. So then now I'm going to turn it over to you. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know what it is you do, where you're from, all of that wonderful stuff. While I add this to the chat, that we are blessed this morning to have on our self-care Saturday two amazing women who are going to help us as a community, right? As moms, as women, all of that, just really kind of get into ourselves and show the growth. So you go ahead and introduce yourself while I type that in.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kiasha Edwell. I am also known as your Black Doula.
Mm.
I am a birth doula, and I am the owner of Elephant Song Doula Services in Pittsburgh, PA, where
Okay.
I serve Black moms and Black families, and just try to help moms build strong foundations as they are going into pregnancy and postpartum and parenting.
Yes. Yes. So necessary.
It is, it is. And so
Yes.
I was going to ask if we're going to, kick the conversation right off. Share with me, we'll start with you, Ayanna, and then we'll move to you, Kiasha. What is a self-care practice that you have? Like, share one of your self-care practices with us.
Sure. And just so you guys know a little bit more about me personally, when I talk about doula services being necessary, it's because, I have 3 kids total, 2 that I birthed directly. I have a stepdaughter. And it's a lot. It's necessary. It's required. I have a 6 and a 4-year-old who are in our house. My stepdaughter is 26, so she's not in the house actively. I like to say she doesn't add to the chaos.
Right.
So, it's so important to take care of ourselves. And I went through a lot before I realized that. Like, a lot of people end up going through like a breakdown before they end up with their breakthrough. And that was my life. Like, I went through a lot of trauma, abusive relationship, and all of these other things before I realized, and recognized how important self-love is, and self-care is an extension of that. So one of the things that I do for myself, and actually, in my business, I kind of, even though it's about health goals, I work, like, all of my clients struggle with this, right? Exercise and eating well is just another form of self-care. And so that's one thing. When I started, I used to struggle with my weight and all of that before this, but eating well and exercising have become a way that I say I love you to myself. It's become a part of, I've kind of reframed the way that I look at it, and I help other people reframe that too. So I do that. I go for walks. I also do, I Netflix. I have some ignorant shows that I do. Like, there are, my kids know about self-care. I'm like, listen, this is a mommy break. I'm like, if you want mommy to be good to you guys, mommy needs a little break. So I really have gotten a lot better about setting up boundaries and doing all of those things for myself. Absolutely.
Can I just say couple things you mentioned that I love. One, that exercise and being healthy is another form of self-care, and how you say you love yourself. And then most of us, some people, but a lot of us have to go through a breakdown before we get to our breakthrough.
Right.
So those were two pieces of information that really resonated with me. And as a mom of two that I birthed, I know that self-care, I've learned even more so, is so important. And so over the past, 12 weeks, my husband and I started on this journey 12 weeks ago, because, like, I know for me, I had reached my pinnacle of weight. Okay, I was 240 pounds, and I was just like, okay, this is crazy. And so our uncle had been speaking to us about some of the things that he does. But to be completely transparent, he's a workout fanatic. So we were like, ain't nobody doing what he's doing. He's gonna have us jumping out of airplanes and scaling buildings. Ain't nobody doing that. But it actually was centered around nutrition, which we know is 90%, of the struggle. So excited to say, again, 12 weeks later, I'm down about 35, 37 pounds.
Yes!
Like, I didn't even weigh this much when I was pregnant, okay?
Yes.
I did not have a formal doula as I transitioned you, Keisha, but I did not have a formal doula, but my cousin was there, in addition to my husband and my aunt. And I was so glad my cousin, she's actually one of our other Coco moms, T. Pearson. I'm going to tag her because I know she's getting ready today for her daughter's 8th grade graduation / birthday party. Or else so you guys got to come back because, she's going to have tons of fun. And then our other Coco moms, Elle, she's the newest of the bunch, our proud Coco mom, and our healing Coco mom, who's a licensed clinical social worker, Anika.
Oh, wow.
So we're all about the community too. But again, dropping that weight, what I found was, I want to lift up what you said, Ayanna. I thought it was the weight, right? I had put so much emphasis, if I could just lose the weight, I'll be good. And then I realized this toxic relationship that I had with food. So this journey has allowed me to free myself mentally. Then it impacted spiritually. So now I got the weight off, and I'm not challenged. I'm like, oh, weight, okay, it's whatever. I know how to keep it off now. But I want you, Kiasha, too, to speak to your self-care practice, and also how important it is to maintain a healthy lifestyle while pregnant, as a doula, like how much that comes into play.
Right. So first of all, thanks for having me. This is exciting to me.
I'm so excited. I was like, can y'all both come on at the same time? Because I feel like we got, no pun intended, but a full spectrum here, of resources. We got, and I love that name, Thrive and Be Whole.
Yeah. Thank you. That's right.
Thrive and Be Whole.
That's right.
And then we got Your Black Doula. So both are two components for us. And it's Black Men's Health Month. It's the month we celebrate fathers. It's Juneteenth, Black Music Month. I mean, you just name it. I feel like we needed to go ahead and take over June for Black people too. Like that way,
I don't see no problem with it.
Right.
I'm in it, but
February's too short, right?
February's too short. We need the whole. We got the whole year, but we'll take another month. We'll take that. Right. But yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So So we'll talk about my own self-care journey, and then also how I really stress the importance of a healthy lifestyle to the mamas that I encounter and the families that I encounter, right? So for me, self-care has been a bumpy road. Some of you might not know. If you follow me, you might know, but I am a little over 140 pounds lighter since 2019.
140
Wow.
pounds?
Yes, a whole other somebody was attached
That is
to
What?
amazing.
That is
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Congratulations.
so much. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And you guys talked about how it's usually going to take a lot of times it takes a breakdown for somebody to really, have that light switch, kind of turn on. And for me, it was a serious health condition. I'm also a lupus warrior. And combining that battle with that illness since 2011, and also a very stressful life. I was a business owner, and I was doing it all myself, everything myself. I was not caring for myself. I was caring for everyone else. I was the owner of a early childhood development center, so I was literally caring for everyone all day, and not really taking breaks. And of course, anyone that knows about autoimmune disorders, if you are not very careful about your stress levels, about how you're eating, about taking care of your body and remaining somewhat active, it is very, very easy to fall into illness. And that's exactly what happened. I was working myself to death. I was not eating well, and I ended up in a terrible flare. And I literally had to watch everything kind of unravel because I hadn't cared enough for myself to put things in place, to put people in place that could lift me up and support me at that time. And also, help me support my businesses, support my child. I have one child. She'll be 16 in November.
Congratulations.
When in November? Congratulations. When in November? When's her birthday?
11/11. She's true Scorpio through and through, honey.
And I'm the
11/11.
15th. I'm the 15th. Come on. Yep.
That's amazing.
I love Scorpios. My two closest friends are Scorpios. Like, I can't get away from y'all.
No, you can't. Nope.
y'all all around me.
And you're from the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
my hitters are Scorpios.
One of my best friends is a Scorpio.
see. So let it be said here. We are very reliable and great friends. Okay.
That's right. Absolutely.
Y'all are dope.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So I had just been kind of plowing through. You know how we are as Black women. We are taught that you just make it. You just do what you have to do. You don't sit around complaining. You don't have time to kind of unpack the emotions a lot of times that are kind of associated with the stresses in your life. So I didn't do that for myself. And I ended up, as I explained, just kind of watching everything that I had worked really, really hard for kind of have to be put on the back burner because I hadn't cared enough about myself. I hadn't thought enough about myself enough in the future that, hey, I might want to take a nap one day. I might want to rest sometime. So maybe I should, put some things in place to help me with that. And I really, the recovery was long. This was in about 2016. And the recovery was very, very long. By the time 2009 came around, 2019, I was 358 pounds. And I had already, due to my lupus, I had lost so much of my mobility and was using a wheelchair, using a walker. And so it was really just getting worse and worse. I made the decision to go to my doctor and say, hey, I need some help. I'm not able to move the way that I am supposed to be. My lupus activity was off the charts. It was just, I was so ill. And I said, I need to make a change. I need to love myself enough to save my life. It was really life or death at that point. And so what ended up happening was I went to the doctor and they said, hey, if you can lose this amount, I think it was 60 pounds on your own, then we are going to start the process for you to have weight loss surgery. the VSG surgery, which is a little bit a lot less invasive, excuse me. It's like somebody might have, you might be familiar with gastric bypass. This one was a little bit, less invasive. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I was able to change my lifestyle. I couldn't introduce like exercise at that point. Like I said, because my mobility was really not good at that time. But what I was able to do was change the way that I was eating. And I noticed, of course, the results when I started to, treat what I was eating as, the way that I was loving myself, how I showed myself love. So I definitely, I powered through, and I lost the amount of weight that I needed to lose, and then I hit the ground running. Once I was clear to exercise after having the surgery, I went back to I was a dancer growing up. I went back to African dance. I went back to cycling. I'm literally 2 feet away, like I'm touching my cycle right now because it's in my office.
Yes, cycling. Y'all can have that.
I fell in love with cycling. A friend of mine is an instructor, and I went and I fell in love with it. I'm clumsy, so I wasn't getting back on a regular bike. So, but I love that, so I got on it. So now I'm, as I said, you fast forward, and me getting my life, getting my health back on track, actually really helped. I went into another lupus flare in December of 2020, and usually recovery for me in a lupus flare is 8 months, 10 months, a year and a half.
Wow.
Because other organs in the body come into play. But because I had, it was hard. It was very hard. It was a 5.5-month journey. I just finished chemotherapy for my lupus. Like, it was a hard journey. However, because I had taken the time since 2019 to really learn my body again, learn what it loves, what keeps it healthy. My diet, of course, is going to be a lot different than other people's,
Right.
because of the autoimmune components. But I was able to my body was able to heal itself a lot faster. And so now, like I said, my last session was May 18th, and my bike was delivered, and I did my first ride on May 30th. Like, I was not playing.
Yes.
Like, let me get this Peloton subscription, because I'm trying, I've lost the weight. Now I'm trying to learn to build strength and build endurance.
Right.
And this is all, I've always been like a dancer and been an active person, but I never really sought out to kind of follow a program that is going to teach me to build my strength and build, So this is exciting for me. I'm trying to, learn some new things. I still be loving my snacks and all of that good stuff, but I now know how to kind of how to pace myself a little bit. You know what I mean? That was, I didn't have that.
That's awesome.
All the time, honey.
No, that is good.
Well, can I say something about that? Because that is so huge. Like, because it's not easy at all. Like, it is. I mean, everything that you just described, it comes from this deeper place that I don't know how to describe to folks until you get it, right? It's like there is, both of you ladies are inspirational, right? Just like going on this journey and committing to yourselves. Because, before this, so I went to school in New York. I went to Columbia for 4 years. And I'm half Haitian. So shout out to all of my East Coast people out there. I was at the West Indian Day Parade and all that stuff. And I was out there. I was like, loving it. In Oakland, we don't have that many of us. There's like a handful. But that's
but you're bringing them there.
That's right. So my mom is Southern and my dad is Haitian. So I grew up eating a lot of great food that really, because food was love and because food was just like, keep eating.
In our community, especially, that was like, we speak so much about generational curses, but and not to knock it, because we know how we had to take and make something out of nothing.
That's right.
But I know for us, the generational substances, right? The food, and those generational traditions that were passed down through each generation. But we don't realize how we may need to tweak them so that we can sustain, life and not just live in the moment. Keep going. Yes.
That's right. Absolutely. And for me, the biggest thing that I also see, so that was a big thing for me. I was like, what is a portion? Like, there's a portion? Like, I don't even know what that means. And I
It's
was like,
like,
and I didn't like eating healthy food. I thought it didn't taste good, you know, and all these different misconceptions I had about it. But also a big thing that I had to overcome, and I help a lot of people overcome this too, is just like a fear, you know, fear of failure, fear of just like of being rejected, fear of feeling of like not being enough. You know, there's so many different ways that we as Black people and as Black women we're told that we're not enough in our society. And I had kind of internalized that about how I looked and how I felt about myself. And it keeps a lot of us kind of playing small with our health goals. Like, you know, we can be so successful. Like, you know, you ladies, you know, going after your businesses, we can do all of these things professionally. You know, like they say that Black women, we've got more degrees than anybody else. Like, you know, we can go to school and all of these different things. And some of us struggle with that. But like, you know, we can hustle our butts off. But then when it comes to like our health goals, we view it differently. We feel like, I can't do this. I
and
can't
they
make
go
it
out the
happen.
window. Yeah, it's
That's
like,
right.
because we have been taught that grind until you can't anymore. Like we
That's right.
use language like, I sleep when I'm dead. You know, we
That's right.
use language
That's
that,
right.
and we give the perspective. The perspective is given that in order for you to really see success, you got to be like burning the candle at both ends. And I know,
That's
because
right.
that's what I believe. I
That's
believed
right.
it was like long nights and early
That's right.
mornings, and you know,
That's
you
right.
just got to do, and you give so much of yourself
That's right.
that there's
That's right.
nothing left. There's
That's
nothing
right.
left.
That's right.
But then
And
you find some way to give even more.
that's right. And I went through exactly that too. Like everything you guys are describing. Like I actually, part of the time, you know, when you were talking about the health issue, and it wasn't as serious as lupus, but I was in the hospital for 2 weeks a few years back because, you know, I was it was for oh God, pneumonia. Pneumonia was what it was for. And I remember I was in my 20s. So what was happening is I was a caregiver. I'm my mom's only child. I have a half brother and sister, you know, through my dad, but I'm my mom's only child. And my mom had Huntington's disease, which was like, it's kind of like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia all rolled into one.
Yeah,
So it's kind of crazy. And here I
yeah.
am in my early 20s, fresh out of college, having to take care of my mom by myself, right? Not knowing, barely can take care of myself, right? So I'm like, pay a bill. I was running away from my mail, and here I have to take care of my mom and me. So I was working on that. I was also teaching full-time, grad school, and then eventually ended up, you know, while I was doing this, I ended up pregnant while I was in grad school, you know, like with my first daughter. So I'm doing all these things at one time and also trying to start a business. I mean, when I say it all now, I'm like, my brain, right?
Whew, I'm
So
tired
many of
listening.
us, right? Too. So many of us are doing that, right? And then but what I realized about myself, when you talked about the reasons why we don't take care of ourselves, you know, there's fear. And for me, what I discovered underneath all of it was the reason why was because my validation was tied up in being busy. Really, at the end of the day,
Yes.
my self-worth was coming from being needed
Right.
and from having a lot on my to-do list. So it was even harder for me to say no
Yeah.
and make time for myself. And once I realized that, I'm like, oh no, like I need to. And I ended up in the hospital for pneumonia, and the doctor was like, you know, you don't have any underlying health conditions and you're in your 20s, like you guys just don't get pneumonia. He's like, that means you're so stressed out, you compromise your immune system.
Yeah. And you know, that's why when you said about loving yourself enough to save your life, like
Yes.
to, you know, to prioritize your health, that was a word right there. That was a message
Yeah.
that I think is important for all of us to hear. I want to pivot just for a minute and say hello to a bunch of people who have joined us today. So Lock Queens Rock, our sister, she's been rolling with us since we first started, and she's amazing. And she says, and stress causes most of our Black community illness,
That's right.
right?
Right.
The stress is. Denise Cynthia is loving the information that we have.
Hi, Cynthia.
Shout out to Sincerely dot Twins. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but I want to make sure I get everybody in that I can to give a little shout out to for tuning in this morning. A special shout out to Reverend Will Martin, fellow Western PAer, for making this connection with your Black doula. Thank you
Yes.
so much to Ayanna for reaching out first to the legacy, but we had retired the legacy, and I was like, but you come over here let's have some conversation because this is important. For those of you who are tuning in, we love you too. If you have any that can help us because they've helped
Oh,
themselves. Wait, am I back? Can you hear me?
oh. I think you're kind of breaking up a
A
little
little
bit.
bit of
Hold on.
breakup.
Yeah,
Can
can
you
you
hear me
repeat that
now?
last message?
Am I back?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear
My
you.
camera, I'm in the middle of somewhere.
It's
But it's a
okay.
lot of trees. So I'm gonna let y'all
We
keep
heard the
going because
babies.
okay, so I know they'll be able to hear you. So if we could, let's pivot a minute to talk about the three areas, and you could just lump them kind of all into one. But when we talk about Coco Life Black, there's three maternal stages that we like to support. It's pregnancy, postpartum, and compassion. Okay, and compassion speaks very specifically to moms, families who have experienced the loss of a child, especially during like that
Mm.
pregnancy or postpartum phase when they recently kind of deliver. So if you could, is it Kiasha or Keisha? I keep feeling like I'm saying it.
Kiasha.
Kiasha, okay.
Yes.
Kiasha, if you could just give a few health tips that you would give to moms, especially in those stages, and then just in general as you're trying to juggle and balance all of this stuff. And then we'll pivot
Yes.
right to you, Ayanna, too, with some tips that you would give and that you have given as well to help support this walk, this journey.
Yes.
So when it comes to when I am dealing with and helping moms and families who are expecting, a lot of times when they hear me say that it's really important to have, healthy foods, make sure that you're moving, make sure that your water intake is increasing and you're keeping hydrated and you're getting leafy greens and all that good stuff. I try to keep it super duper simple. When you are getting ready to have a baby, you feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. So a lot of times, like we were discussing, taking care of your body comes last. And I try to get my clients to understand that should be first. You're carrying new life. So to keep it simple, if you watch my videos, I like to have nice little catchphrases so people are, it's easy to remember. So something that my clients hear me say all the time is, where's your water bottle? I should not see you without a water bottle. Wherever you are, if it's a plastic water bottle, where's mine? I don't have my bottle, but I have my cup.
There you go.
You have to have it with you. If you have it, then it's going to remind you to take it.
Hey.
Yes, there you go. It's going to remind you to take the time to drink it. Set yourself a little alarm on your phone. Let your smartphone be smart. Put it in your calendar. Little things like that. You get forgetful when you're expecting. I'm forgetful and I ain't nowhere near pregnant. So guess what? I have a water reminder in my phone. You know what I mean? So I say that. Where's your water bottle? I will say every day you need something from the earth. I understand that a lot of times I have moms that are in complete food deserts. I have moms that are living in areas that you do not have access all the time. So what I say is, hey, I might help connect to farmers markets. I might help connect, show how to shop on a budget, in Trader Joe's or in Whole Foods, because a lot of times they ain't checking for to make sure that low income people have access. So
No, that's so
I
true.
don't want to bombard you with this giant chart of all these leafy greens that you need to try to get in every day. So what I'm going to say is try to get something from the earth every single day. And then we bump it up, try to get something from the earth every meal. Then we bump it up, and it's not so overwhelming, so we focus on just trying to get more fruits and vegetables and getting the water up. A lot of times I just don't want my moms to feel like, or my parents to feel like overwhelmed. So a lot of times we can just introduce those little things, and you gradually build over the pregnancy as you build relationship, and then you have the support person that you're inviting in to learn all of these things as well. And when you teach the birthing person and you teach the support person and you get them involved and you get them understanding that this is a part of loving who you are, and this is ultimately going to make you a better parent. When you learn to care for yourself, you're going to teach your children to care well for themselves. And when you learn that, you're not just teaching the expected person and their support person, you're teaching the whole family. So
and it takes a
that
village.
ultimately is going to spread. Exactly. You're ultimately building the village. You know what I mean? And when you do that with love, when you do that with compassion, when you do that with empathy, when you do that from a place of understanding, because I've been there, I've been to a place where all I ate all day was McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those were
Yeah.
all 3 meals, you know?
Yep.
So I understand that it is not easy to go from McDonald's for 3 meals to, you know, a raw vegan diet. We're not doing that. We're not gonna make somebody feel as if they're less than because you found out you're pregnant today and you're not vegan tomorrow. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna take the steps that you need to take. We're gonna go at a pace that you need to go, and we're gonna make sure that when baby gets here, you're not feeling overwhelmed and you're not feeling like I can't do this or this is not attainable. I'm just gonna keep eating what I've been eating. You know, so that's what we focus on, is making small changes and just every day gradually loving ourselves more and making more changes.
That's right.
I love that, getting something from the earth every day. That's beautiful. And as a postpartum doula myself in certification, so I am always looking for positive, especially my moms who are breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and it doesn't matter if you are or aren't. This is definitely not a shot. Yes, if you can, and if you can get just at least, you know, sometime in, please go for it. But this is no, if you can't or you choose not to, we do not feed shame. Feed your baby, okay?
That's right.
Feed your baby. If it's formula, if you have to do formula, we understand that. We have ways to support that too. But I love what you said about getting something from the earth in every day. And that goes for all of us, you know, making sure that something comes from the earth. And that resonates for me, right? Yeah. Especially if you're a visual learner, it's like, get something from the earth. Okay, I know greens. I know, you know, strawberries. I know, you know,
that's right.
It doesn't have to be too much for, for someone who's just trying.
That's
and then you get to celebrate the small victories. So whereas yesterday I might have been a person that decided, hey, Wendy's is close, Wendy's is quick. I ate Wendy's yesterday. But if I have in my mind, let me at least try. I don't have to try to focus on that negative. I can say, you know what, I did eat that Wendy's because that's what was close. That's what I could afford. That's what was open when I got off work. All of these different things. But what I did make sure with my lunch, I packed an apple.
That's right.
Yeah.
Breakfast, I had an orange. You
know
what
I mean? I got a salad when I went to Wendy's.
That's right.
Salad, you know, or I had my chicken wings, but I had my celery on the side.
Yeah.
Just celebrate the little, the smaller things. And when you get used to rewarding the positive and not dwelling on the negative, when you put someone in that mindset, then you kind of naturally want to do what brings that feeling. So
I love it.
It ends up that when you start with, you know, and I had an apple this week. Or you start with, I had, you know, a handful of grapes and some almonds this week. That may have been the only thing from the earth you had this week. But last week you didn't have anything from the earth.
That's
look
right.
At you. Now you got to look at you.
Look at you.
Exactly. That gives you an opportunity to just celebrate this mom who's doing what she can do.
That's right.
I love it.
What I can do today.
Can I say along with that?
And you have to celebrate that.
Along with that self-compassion piece. So first of all, yes to everything. Yes to all of that, because it's baby steps. It really is baby steps. It's like, you know, people sometimes look at my profile page. You know, somebody said that, first of all, somebody was like, oh, you have abs in a picture. They're like, oh, you great abs. I didn't know what an ab was for so long of my life. I was like, I don't even know what that means. So I was like, you know, so the fact that I do have it now, I keep telling people, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be a health coach. Like, I never, ever thought in my wildest dreams.
Sometimes me either.
I never thought because I started treating it like any other goal, just one baby step at a time, just like what you said. And, you know, I do have a resource for people. You know, if you go to my profile and you click on the link in my profile, you know, I have my link tree. I have a bunch of different links. I have a magic plate that shows you visually how you can set up your plate so that, you know, you can get, you know, but again, as you were saying, it's baby steps. So if you're not ready to go there just yet, if you're still kind of like just working on getting something in your system that is healthy each day, but that resource can help you figure out how to make your plate so it's balanced, so you can eat healthy and also feel satisfied, right? Because I used to think eating healthy was just eating some romaine lettuce and like a tomato. And I was like, how do people survive on this? Like this is starvation, but you can have really satisfied, delicious meals that are healthy. So so I have a plate that can show you how to do all that. But the other thing about the self-compassion piece, that is my jam. Because I've been a teacher also for so long, and I've watched my students. This is the thing that really changed me. Watching my students get Fs was not about them not being able to do it, right? For the most part, unless somebody had a really significant cognitive disability or something like that. But the difference between an A and an F student is not them not being able to do it 9 times out of 10. It's them believing they can't do it. It's them telling themselves that they can't do it. And we do that all the time. And especially as I was talking about before with that fear, because so many of us have tried and failed things before. We're in a diet culture that makes us feel like all these unhealthy things we have to do. We've come to accept, so there, we see, especially on social media, it gets worse and worse. We keep looking at all these other people who feel like they got it all figured out. It makes us feel bad about ourselves, that there's something wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with you. It takes time to change a lifetime of habits. And so what I actually do with my clients is I either encourage them to journal or to record themselves, like saying affirmations to themselves. So with me, I do affirmations with my babies every day. And every time I hear them, we talk about their negative self-talk. I call it the scaredy voice. I'm like, listen, your scaredy voice is cool. It can protect you, but sometimes it sends us down. Sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes your scaredy voice is telling you that you can't do it, but you can. And also the other thing that I do with people is exactly what you said. Like the journal prompts that I have with people are, the first one is about self-forgiveness. So I forgive myself for X, Y, and Z. And if you go to the link on my page, you can see I actually break down how you can do this. Because a lot of people struggle to forgive themselves, but it's forgiving yourself for all of those things, big and small, right? So I forgive myself for not sending that email when I said I was going to send it, all the way on up to the big stuff, right?
Yeah.
I forgive myself for yelling at my 4-year-old when she was getting on my nerves, right? I forgive myself for and you say it, I forgive myself for doing X because I know I was feeling Y. And next time I'll do Z. So I just yelled at my 4-year-old 2 days ago. And I felt bad about it because I felt bad about the interaction. So I was like, okay, I forgive myself for yelling at her because I know I was feeling really exhausted and overwhelmed. And to be fair, she wasn't really listening. She was on my nerves.
That part, right.
And next time what I'll do is this. I'll try to breathe before I react that way. Or if I'm really if I know I can feel it kind of coming, I'll step outside of the room and come back when I'm ready to respond to her the way I want to respond to her. So that was something that I did. So you can do that, and if you need tips on how to do that, you can just hit me up. I love this stuff. And then also talking about your wins. So all the things you're proud of yourself for, again, big and small, just like she said, nothing is too small to be a win. Nothing is too small to be a win. Again, I'm proud of myself. I paid that bill. I'm proud of myself. I sent that email. And then things I'm grateful for. So those 3 things, that combination, after you do that, again, nothing is too big or too small for gratitude. So after you write that stuff, I always feel better. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm dope. I do a lot.
I love that.
Make miracles happen. So these are things that can help.
So can I lift up just one of the things that you said? Well, there were several things that you said. And so this is why we like to open up and have this conversation. And so, you all know who are rocking out with us every Saturday. We do self-care Saturdays. So we definitely got to have you ladies back because I think it's just, it's good to have these sorts of dialogues. But one thing I want to give, lift up that you said, and I got a special guest for us. I love the affirmations, right? I think it's really important to do that. So about 6 years ago, I'll say, about 6 years ago, I was in a really, really dark place. And so, thank God that I've been delivered from that particular place and been on a better trajectory. But that was one of the things that kind of launched me out of that. And there was this book by this woman that a friend of mine gave me called Commanding Your Morning by Cindy Trim. That book is about as thick as it's not thick at all. It's like this thick, about 4x4 size, but it was transformative, amazing, because what it spoke to you is about commanding your morning, and commanding your day overall. So I needed to say that. Now, one thing I have for you really quick, Kiasha, that the Law Queen said, she said there was a point in time where she felt guilty for the food choices she made when she was pregnant. So she says, have you ever experienced someone who may have been ashamed because of their food choices and feeling inadequate because of guilt? that they're feeding the baby with those choices. And so while I prepare our special guest, if you could just kind of speak to how you coached someone through that, especially on that momming side.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this is coming right back to celebrating and teaching moms and teaching parents in general how to celebrate themselves,
Yes.
rather than dwelling in mistakes or past mindsets that we had. Listen, I know I mentioned at the beginning that my daughter is almost 16. Now I consider myself a very conscious parent. Who is an advocate of like gentle discipline and things of that nature,
And restorative measures, yes.
and exactly, in restorative
That's right.
measures. I apologize to my child. I make sure that I'm fostering an environment in my home that kind of lends itself to open communication, and it's because I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
I was a 19-year-old mom,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
what I was eating was Taco Bell. I tell my daughter now, oh, you should love Taco Bell and you should love Ralph's, because that's all I wanted to eat when I was pregnant with you. You know what I mean? That, so I'm not, so I'm able to come, number one, from a place of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's not any judgment whatsoever. Number one. Number two, I spend time reiterating to mamas while I'm with them over the course of their pregnancy. There is so much guilt. Mom guilt doesn't start when the baby's born. There's so much guilt and shame because every decision that you make, yes, does affect baby, but everybody wants to remind you that everything that you're doing is affecting your baby. So there's this compound guilt. You're already thinking, am I doing this right? Am I healthy enough? Am I smart enough? Am I, do I have enough energy? Am I going to have enough love left over at the end of the day? This might be my second, my third child. So what I focus on when I have moms that say, oh my goodness, I'm eating this or I'm doing this wrong. Anything really. It doesn't have to be food. It could be, oh, I heard aerosol is terrible in my house and I just sprayed a bunch of air freshener. There are so many different things that a mom can feel guilty for, and it's amplified during pregnancy because your baby is still with you. So what I tend to do is refocus them completely on something positive. Yes. Like I said earlier, you're eating this way, of course, because it is what is available. It is what you know. It is what you've been taught. It's what you can afford. It's what's close after work. All of these things. And when they begin to think about, you're right. It's not always, I'm just trying to stuff my face. That's not what it is. You're not going through your day saying, F them kids, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. That's not what your mindset is. And I have to remind them not to beat themselves up. This is not your mindset. So what you can do is first, like you said, Ayanna, forgive yourself. Don't dwell on that. Don't go on to then punish yourself for these mistakes. What you can do that's going to be positive for both you and baby is say, you know what, from now on, I'm going to do my best to make even better choices. I'm going to try to implement, I'm going to try to remember to have my water bottle with me. I'm going to try to remember to, I'm going to, and it doesn't stop at just trying to remember yourself. It also is, let's try to get my support system involved in this. I don't need you all the time if I'm saying I'm hungry to wrap me to McDonald's. I don't need that. We don't need that. So sometimes, you have to, you don't have to depend on yourself to be the strong one all the daggone time and remember, oh, I need to remember to have something from the earth. No, if you have good people around you, a lot of times you don't necessarily, have to put all the weight on yourself. This is, yes, you're carrying baby, but you should have people around you that are going to encourage you and remind you that of the importance, not necessarily make you feel bad. I really want my parents and my families to understand that it is all about celebrating the small things and forgiving yourself for the negative things. It's you can't allow yourself to dwell in it. You can't allow yourself. You don't want to create stress around something that could have been over, that can be changed, that can be fixed.
That's right. and your
Yeah,
village,
yeah,
asking for help, asking for
Yes,
help.
yes, yes, yes.
Man,
Yes.
because that was the other reason why I brought
wow,
up fear before, is because fear will stop us from asking for help.
Yep.
Fear will make us think that we have to do
Yeah.
everything ourselves all the time and do everything right now.
Yeah.
Delegate your village, all of that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why when
Mhm.
we talk about, the Coco community, and
Mhm.
we're cultivating a Coco community, that's it. It's bringing like all these resources together to support each other. All right. So
Yeah.
as we wrap up this conversation for today, I am just going to ask you. Thank you so much, Kiasha, for those great tips. Ayana, do you have any other final tips, final words that you just want to give to those who are tuning in with us today, until we meet again? And then I will close us out with, again, our little special guest.
Just that you guys deserve it. Like we deserve to live our best lives. We deserve to live our lives like they're golden, because they are. And actually,
Mhm.
the best advice, I cannot remember for the life of me who said this, but it was one. It's a saying that has stuck with me. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. I mean,
Right,
who knows if we come back again, or what the story is. But as far as we know, this is not a dress rehearsal. So
Mhm.
everything, we cannot wait, right? We deserve to live as happily as we want to right now, right? And if that means you need to make plans, if that means because you're in a busy moment, because I get it, I was in grad school when I was teaching. Sometimes we just have moments that are busy, but we can make plans to get to be in a position, to try and find jobs and work and businesses that are going to give us that time off that we want, that we deserve, that self-care time that we need for our mental health. All of these things are so important for our happiness, and we deserve to go after that. You don't have to sit back and just accept
right.
where your life is right now.
Accept
You
it.
can dream it. That's right. That's right.
I
Dream big
never,
and go
ever
for it.
Listen, dream big and go for it. I never imagined myself as a doula, never imagined postpartum doula, never imagined myself, venturing into this health coaching.
That's
And it
right.
was because of my own journey that I felt empowered to do that. So I want to thank you,
Right.
ladies, so much. You all have been so enormously blessed, okay, this morning. This is a great way to start your
Yes,
day or midway through your day or whatever
It
part of your day. This is why we do this every morning. So I'm
that's right.
telling y'all got to come back. So I'm going to introduce you to, let
Oh,
me
real
just
quickly,
take,
I forgot to say one
this
quick thing.
is, what's your name?
Oh,
I'm Camille.
hi.
So
Oh, what a cutie. Hi.
this is Camille. Camille is my 9-year-old, and then we also have a 20-month-old or something. I don't know how old he is now.
is.
Because now he's one. I know that he's one.
Right.
I lost count. So what we're going to do is, one, just thank everybody again for tuning in. Thank you so much to Ayanna and Kiasha for just really coming in and giving us such amazing food for thought that we can take with us through this day, through this week even. And so, Camille, why don't you just take us out with the affirmations that we do every morning?
I'm gonna be saying
Speak loud.
one of my scriptures that I say in the morning.
Your affirmations.
So
Nice
this
and loud.
this is the day that the Lord has made. Will be possible as God has.
Wait. Of course, right now, here comes a lawnmower.
There
Hold
we go.
on. Here. Okay.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Will be possible as God has claimed. I cast out any evil negativity. I speak life in all my encounter for God's new thing. Prosperity, success, and knowledge to win. Peace in my spirit will my day begin.
Yay. Yay.
Yes. See,
Thank
they're clapping.
you.
They
She's so
said thank you.
awesome.
You're welcome.
Yay. So you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Right as we get ready, here comes somebody on their ride lawnmower. I can't. Out
She's
here,
so gorgeous. Wait,
thank you.
can I make one more quick
Yes.
announcement? I forgot to say it real
Yes.
quickly. So I do have affordable, nutritional programs, nutritional products as well. I have a 30 days to healthy living program and coaching. So if you want to know more about any of those, just let me know.
Yes, we do. And that's a whole other conversation. Go to
Yes.
both of their pages. I'm going to type it in here right now because I know it's a little, so Thrive, here you
Hmm.
come again. Thrive and Be Whole. This is
Yes,
for
for me.
Ayanna, who is our health coach,
Hmm.
health and wellness coach. All right.
Yep.
And then we have your black. And so here's the thing. These ladies may be in different areas, but as you can see in this tech-driven, virtually
Yeah.
sound world, we can all come together. And you're a Black doula. You're a full spectrum doula, right, Ayan?
I'm a
Kiasha?
birth doula.
Birth
I'm a
doula.
birth
Okay.
doula. Yes, and currently in training for postpartum doula. So I
Oh,
will be
awesome.
having both soon.
So she can do both birth and postpartum. She's
Right.
learning, and it is an ongoing journey. So,
Right,
I started
right.
with postpartum, and then I was even thinking of moving into like a bereavement doula
Mm.
capacity, just because of, some of the experiences. But that
Yeah.
is where Coco Life Black came from. It was experiences of myself, friends, family, even you ladies whom I hadn't even met yet. It was just about creating that space for us to do things like this. So let's continue to come together, everybody. Please continue to support these ladies. Support by sharing their stuff. Support by patronizing them and whatever goods and services that they have to offer. But most importantly, support them by supporting yourself. I, again, am Alexia, your Coco Mom, Evolve with Coco Life Black. We love you all so much for tuning in, and continue to be blessed the rest of this day. Thank y'all
Yes.
so
Yes.
much for tuning in.
Bye, ladies. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.